Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today I'm going to be showing you how I created this denim junk journal cover, and this is going to be a two-part series. In today's video I'm going to show you kind of how to create the base of the journal, and then on Thursday I'm going to be showing you how I decorated it. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. As always, the links to everything used in today's video will be down in the description box below. So if you're looking for any supplies or materials, you can find it all down there. Alright, so to begin, we're going to be using a cereal box as the base for this journal. I picked this one. It has a 1 3/4 inch spine. You can always find a cereal box that has a wider spine if you want to make a wider journal. And I'm going to be reinforcing mine with a couple of pieces of 5.5 by 8.5 inch chipboard. These are just a little bit thicker and are going to help hold the sturdy material of denim a little bit better. And if I could actually redo this again, I would also reinforce the spine because the cover is so heavy that it kind of causes the cover to droop a little bit because the spine's not strong enough to support it. So, do as I say, not as I do, and go ahead and reinforce that spine. If you don't have chipboard, you can just cut up more like cereal boxes or cardboard and use that the exact same way to just make it a little bit sturdier. And I'm going to glue these covers down to either side of the cereal box spine. I'm using the top of the cereal box here where this fold is as kind of my guide for where to put these so that they're level. And that way when we cut it out, we have a perfect base for a junk journal with 2 covers and a spine. Next, let's go ahead and talk denim. So there's a couple of different types and some will work better for this project than others. The first type of denim I'm kind of going to be using for this is going to be these Wrangler pair of jeans, which are really thick and sturdy. However, the thickness is going to be a bit of a problem for sewing. It is just so hard to sew through this. It might even snap the needle on your machine, so I wouldn't really recommend this. And if you want to use like paint pens to draw any kind of design or stitching, it just won't work on this kind of fabric. It's just sort of difficult to work with. However, these belt loops are going to work really well for decorating the spine because they are nice and thick, so they hold their shape really well. There's also some hardware you might be able to use if you'd like. But the next pair of jeans I'm going to talk about are these kids jeans that I picked up from a thrift store. I liked the pattern on them, so I thought maybe I could use some of these pieces for my journal decorating. However, what I was really interested in was the pockets. So kids jeans are a lot smaller than adult jeans, and the pockets are also smaller. So if you want this to fit on a junk journal, you're going to have to use a pair of kids jeans in order to get a pocket small enough to use. So you're going to want to pick up, some children's jeans for that. Now, there's not quite enough fabric in children's jeans to cover the entire junk journal. I mean, there might be if you want to cut this up into like little squares and make it like a patchwork piece of fabric you could use. That might work and it might look cute. However, my recommendation is going to be these jeans right here. These are actually from Amazon. My mother bought them and then they just didn't quite fit right. So we can actually link these down in the description box below for you guys so that you can use this exact pair of jeans if you want to. So that way you know that they're going to turn out well, since these are the ones I used. There's plenty of fabric. It's nice and thin, but not too thin, and it takes paint pens well, so pretty much it's got everything that I need for today's project. So I'm going to begin by taking one of the pant legs here, and I'm going to be cutting, making sure to leave about 1 inch of space at the top and bottom of my journal. It's better to have too much fabric than too little with this project. And then we're going to be cutting down one of the seams of the pant leg like this so that it can open up into this nice long panel that we can use to cover our journal. So we're going to take our journal, and I liked this little seam up here where there was kind of a cuff for the pant leg, and I thought it might look cute at the top of my journal just as part of the design. So I'm going to kind of lay my journal so that that runs, right about where I think it would look nice. And then I'm going to make sure that I leave about 1 inch of space around the border of my entire journal here. Again, we're going to want that extra fabric when we sew things later. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the second pant leg, just making another panel here. And you can see I already trimmed this one down, so I'm going to trim, everything to kind of match. It's okay if things aren't perfect. And you want to make sure that the first panel is laying, face side down, and then the second one has face side up. So essentially we're sandwiching our journal between the insides of our two panels here. Okay, hope that makes sense. And then I used a candle to hold my book in place so it didn't move, and then grabbed some bulldog clips to kind of clip all of my edges so that they don't move either. We want everything to kind of stay in place. And I'm going to be using this like chalk pencil here, this fabric pencil, to mark the edges of my journal. So I'm kind of just feeling for where they are, and then I'm going to use a ruler to help kind of keep things straight, and then just kind of mark those edges. It's okay if they're not perfect. And right here was where I should have noticed that my journal had definitely moved. I mean, there was so much fabric at the bottom and so little fabric at the top, but for some reason I just didn't notice. So, you know, don't be like me, make sure that things haven't moved. And here's where we're going to pull our journal out, and we're going to stitch those lines that we just made, but we're going to leave this side open because we're going to need to put the journal back in when we sew it closed. So just do these 3 sides, and I'm going to be sewing mine on my machine. I'm going to use some gold thread for that, since it matches the stitching already on my jeans. And I'm still kind of new to sewing, but my understanding is that denim is easiest to sew with a tension of around 8 or 9, and then, you know, 5 or 4 is best for a lot of other fabrics. So I went with a 6 because it's kind of right in the middle, and my denim isn't that thick, so I felt like that should work okay. And then I'm going to be using a straight stitch because it kind of matches the stitching already on the pair of jeans, so that's kind of what I'm doing. And then I am going to sew a little bit to the outside of my line just to give me some wiggle room so that the journal can still fit back inside this pocket. If you sew it too close to that line or directly on that line, it might end up too tight. If you have that problem, you can always take your journal and trim it down to be slightly smaller, and then it should fit just fine. But this is me kind of trying to get ahead of that problem before it happens. And then I'm just going to sew all 3 edges shut and then leave that 4th edge open so that we can slide our journal back into the pocket. And I do have these little white lines from the chalk, but you can just rub those away with a scrap piece of fabric. They should come off fairly easily, just leaving the stitching behind. And then I'm going to take the journal, slide it inside. This was a little bit difficult because it's kind of snug, so just kind of take your time so that you don't accidentally, you know, break the journal. And you want to make sure that the corners of your journal go all the way to the edge of your pocket, because we want to make sure that this is pretty tight when we sew it shut. Otherwise, the journal will kind of shift around inside this pocket, and we don't really want that. So we're going to try to get things as tight and snug as we can. And here's what that looks like when it's totally done. You can tell at this point is where I realized that I had way too much fabric on one side. However, I think it should still be fine because I'm going to be fraying these edges anyway, and they really don't need to be perfect. So don't worry if yours is also a little off too. All right, next we're going to be building our signatures for this journal, and I already have a tutorial on journal binding and also how to build a signature, so I'm going to be linking those down in the description box below for you. And then today's video is going to be kind of a quick crash course since I want to sort of move along to creating the journal cover, and that way we can kind of save a little bit of time with this tutorial. I am going to be using the Summer Strawberries kits that we just released. These are new to our shop, and you can find links to this down in the description box below. I will be using this kit to also decorate my journal cover a little bit later on, so definitely pick that up if you want to craft along with me. And then I have some paper doilies and some coffee dyed papers that I'll be using to kind of fill these signatures out just a little bit more. And I'm going to be creating 4 signatures. I already created one off camera really fast, but in case you've never made a signature before, it's just a stack of papers that you fold in half, and that creates what is called a signature. And we're going to be putting these into our journal to create like the full pages that go inside of it. And then you can decorate them or write in them or whatever else you'd like. And there are multiple ways to bind a signature into a journal. Like I mentioned earlier, you can kind of watch that video if you want to see a couple of different methods you could try. I'm going to be using this hidden spine template in our shop. You can, again, buy this in our shop, or you can join our Facebook group and get it for free as a download. So I went ahead and just printed it on cardstock, and I chose the 1.5 inch signature because that's the size of my spine. So you just have to find whichever one matches the spine of your journal. And I printed one of the pages papers from the Summer Strawberry kit onto it so that it'll kind of be hidden between the signatures later on once I glue it into the journal. And then I'm just following the instructions, punching out the holes, making my signature. Again, this is not really a tutorial on this. You can follow one of those other videos if you want to see an in-depth tutorial on how to use this, but I'm going to be using a pamphlet stitch today to stitch my pages into this hidden spine and then glue it down into my journal. So here's kind of what that looks like when it's all done. So if you want to see this again in full, like step-by-step tutorial, you can see that in my binding tutorial video. Go ahead and watch that, and then you can come back and continue to craft with me here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my journal. I'm just going to use FABRI TAC glue and glue it in. Now the spine is a little bit hard to see because of the denim, so you sort of have to feel for the outline of it and then kind of line it up with your stitches. And you can use the covers, like if you fold them like this, you should be able to kind of get an idea of where the spine is so that you can glue this down properly. And I'm going to be decorating my journal off camera using some projects that I've already made on the channel. This might look familiar to some of you that have crafted along with me before. And if you're new to our channel or not subscribed, please consider doing so. We make a lot of really cool projects and give away a lot of freebies and stuff like that. And having pre-made projects makes it really easy to decorate your journal. I think I got this journal done from start to finish in about 2 days. So, you know, if you want to craft along with me, you should have lots of cool projects you can use in your journals as well. All right, so coming back to this journal here, we're going to actually trim our edges down so that we have about 1/2 inch left on all sides because we're going to be fraying these. So I'm going to just be grabbing these like loose threads here and pulling on them. And that's going to start to fray the edge down to about the stitch. And that's where we're going to stop. And then you can just cut any loose ends off that you don't want, or you can leave them. It's kind of up to you what sort of look you're going for. And you'll have these really cool like frayed edges that make this journal look so neat. If you're having trouble getting these little threads, you can use like a needle to help kind of pull the stitches up, and that should give you some ends that you can grab and start yanking on to, you know, fray your edges here. And it is easier to fray one side than the other because of how the stitches are on denim. So to make that easier, I would recommend using like a cat hair or like a pet hair brush, or if you have like a steel bristle like comb or hairbrush, that would work too. And you're just going to run it really roughly over the edges, and that's going to help snag on some of those strings and pull them loose. And I cannot tell you how much time this saved me. It was way faster than doing it by hand. So if you can get your hands on one of those brushes, definitely do so. It's going to make this a lot easier. But otherwise, that's kind of the last thing for today's tutorial. So I'm actually going to show you guys a sneak preview of some of the materials you'll be needing for Thursday's video, since you might need to order some of these ahead of time. So I'm going to be using the Summer Strawberries kit. Again, just some of the ephemera here printed on cardstock to fill some of the pockets and do a little bit of decorating, things like that. And then I'm also going to print some of the ephemera as well as one of the papers on something called canvas paper. And I will have this linked down in the description box below in our Amazon affiliate shop if you want to get this, because it's less like paper and more like a fabric that you can print on. And I'm going to be using some of this for like patches on the front cover of my journal. One thing to note is that the canvas is a little bit like tinged like a yellowish color. So it will sort of tinge your designs with that color as well and just make them look a little bit more warm toned. So just keep that in mind. And then I'll also be using things like jute twine as well as some bulb pins and FABRI TAC glue. And then I've also got some cheesecloth and like a bunch of different ribbons and fabric samples and things like that that I'll be using a little bit for my decorating. So hopefully that gives you guys a couple of days to, you know, gather all of this material. And I will see you in Thursday's video where we do all of the decorating for this journal. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!